Hello and welcome to Planning Preview for the month of October. My name is Jason Bieber with the Planning Office at the City of Sioux Falls, and joining me as always is Karla, Urban Planner, with us.
Thanks for having me. Let's go over the agenda for October Planning Commission.
Yeah, it's a little small this month, but that's okay because we have a lot of big developments that had kind of gone through the process already, and we kind of get to the lull that we typically see in the fall anyways when stuff starts slowing down a little bit. Yeah.
The ebb and flow of development, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, I don't want to say, it looks like we have 3 items and 2 of them would be alcohol and 1 is accessory parking. So ones we don't typically see every month, but let's go through these real quick. So the first one, it looks like we got a conditional use permit for on-sale alcoholic beverage establishment, and then that would be within 500 feet of a sensitive land use. Looks like 5701 East 41st Street. I think this is just west of Veterans Parkway on 41st Street.
Yep, Veterans Parkway and 41st Street, you got it. There's a new amenity for the neighborhood, some retail space and a restaurant going there, and they want to do the on-sale alcohol beverage establishment. And since there's single-family homes and a park in close proximity, we just want to be sure that everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah, and the single-family homes would be across 41st Street,
Yep.
so they wouldn't be, there'd be a little bit of separation
Right.
already.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that Harmon does allow alcohol in there, so not too crazy
Right.
of a thing. Typically, we don't want, obviously, on-sale alcohol next to a park that's more kid-friendly park and that kind of stuff. So it doesn't seem like it should be too bad of a deal over there. Next one, then, we've got, it looks like a conditional use for off-site accessory parking. This is over on Summit and 41st Street, kind of by, I think, Harold's Photography, correct?
Yep. So on the other side of 41st Street, way on the west, 41st and Summit, there is a new daycare going into that facility, and as part of their parking, they'll be sharing some vacant space to the south of them. So they'll be renting that from the landlord, and because they're within 250 feet of a single family dwelling, again, we just want to be sure that everyone's on the same page with the use of the parking lot. And we don't want seas of parking lot just sitting there vacant. So utilizing that space that's already built is, I think, a win for the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then I think, too, another good thing with this is the existing parcel doesn't have a lot of space on it. So
Right.
if we required them to put all that parking on there and couldn't use some off-site parking that's accessory that Harold's doesn't all need, we wouldn't be able to get in the outdoor play area. And so it's kind of a win-win, I would say, for that specific daycare.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then looks like we got another conditional use permit for on-sale alcohol. Looks like this is at 5000 North Cliff Avenue, correct?
Yep, same request as the first one here, with the cadence of allowing more liquor licenses because of the population increase. Then they need their conditional use permit, of course, if they're within that sensitive use, and those sensitive uses are identified as schools, parks, single-family dwellings by the definition.
Yeah, and that's a great point because some people might be wondering, why are there so many on this agenda? Well, you just kind of talked a little bit about it. We got our annual allowance from the state based on our population, where liquor licenses are based on population. And so when we get the next year's population, we get additional liquor license based on how much we grow. So
Yep.
these are kind of the ones that we say won the lottery, got the ping pong balls from licensing, and now they need to put them somewhere. And then as our office then gets to be able to kind of look and make sure that either they are in an area without residential, or if they are, then we need to do a conditional use to make sure they're separated correctly.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, great. Well, you got a pretty easy month this month, so that's good, right?
Yeah,
For
lots
you?
of free time.
Yeah, right. Never free time. But thanks for joining us, Karla.
You bet.
And stay tuned, Sioux Falls. After the break, we're going to have Jeff Schmitt with the Planning Office talk about not only Planning Month in October, but also the Citizens Planning Academy, that this will be the 9th year. So stay tuned to learn a little bit more about that. Thanks.
Hey, this is Seth and I work for the City of Sioux Falls in the Housing Division. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about gutters and why it's important to make sure that your gutters are clean going into the winter. I know right now it looks nice and sunny and warm, but real soon, as we all know, it's going to get cold and water's going to freeze. And so if you see this gutter right here, is full of leaves and even has a little bit of dirt. That dirt is actually leaves that have decomposed into dirt. And so if that's left long enough, you'll actually get vegetation growing out of your gutters. And that's a really bad thing for a couple reasons. Water can build up and actually sag your gutters if they're plugged, and it changes the slope of the gutter. So it no longer pushes the water down to the downspout and out. It actually gets into a little sag in the middle of the gutter, and it'll actually tear your gutter off, or your gutter will come off because of that. Also, another great reason to clean your gutters is simply just to keep up on your home. So when your gutters fill up, they can no longer direct the water down into the downspout, and it goes directly over straight down into what we would call the drip line of the foundation, which is about a foot or two away from your foundation. This actually causes a lot of issues in basements. One of the biggest issues we have in our single family rehab is basements that are cracking, water coming in, just a lot of foundation issues. And that's oftentimes caused by just clogged gutters. So water goes down to the drip line, saturates that soil, and then winter comes, it freezes. We all know ice expands. When it freezes, puts pressure on the foundation and starts cracking up your home. One last thing with gutters I'd like to explain to you is when they get plugged up, they actually cause the water to back up into the roof. And if you've heard of ice dams on your roof, oftentimes it starts with your gutter. And so water freezes in your gutter, and ice above the gutter melts. And somewhere in the middle, there's water that is just sitting there that can't get out down the roof. And so you have a couple layers of ice and water that the contractors have to put on your home. The first two, about 6 feet, is ice and water. That gives you a little protection, but ultimately with standing water, you're gonna have water coming into the roof, down and into your home, and then you're gonna have a lot of issues. So ultimately, keeping your gutters clean is a really important thing to do to your home. It's pretty simple. If you can just climb up on usually a 6 or 8 foot ladder is plenty big enough. Grab some handfuls and clean it out. And if you can't get up on a ladder, paying somebody to do this is worth it. Thanks for watching today's Home Maintenance Minute.
Welcome back to Planning Preview for the month of October. Joining me now is Jeff Schmitt, our Planning Projects Coordinator for the Planning Department.
Hi, Jason.
Welcome back to Planning Preview. I think we have you on here pretty much every year to kind of talk a little bit about the same thing, the great program that we have in the month of October, the Planning Citizens Academy.
Correct. This is the 9th annual one that we've had. So 9 years we've been doing this, and we schedule it in October, which is Planning Month.
Yeah, Planning Month for October, we have all these great events, right,
yes,
for this?
Yeah, so in October, it's nationwide, you know, and they publish through the journals and everything for different communities that they can just basically let people know what planning is and the history of planning or any different events that they have. And it really gives the city of Sioux Falls and our department a good opportunity to give the citizens that background. So again, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, we kind of started rolling that out. And you remember, the first time we were like, is anybody going to do this? But Citizens Planning Academy is just a good chance to say, this is planning. It's kind of like in college, that 101 class, and say, this is what planning is.
And I think it's great that with you guys, and at the beginning, I was involved quite a bit with doing some of the sessions, but now I know your team has kind of taken that over, which you guys do such a great job with it. What's great about it is you're not just presenting anything, you're kind of asking them, hey, what do you guys want to learn about? Is it transportation? Is it bike trails? Is it plats? Is it zoning? Is it the comprehensive plan?
Yeah, and the information's available on the website. We have applications, and people are like, well, you have to apply for it. We don't ask you really to apply for it, but that's just it. We're asking the citizens to give us a little bit of information about what they're interested in. Because we've all sat through this stuff before. You're like, well, you're not really addressing my concerns, right? So we ask, what are your issues? What things from a community that you lived in before, or you've lived in Sioux Falls your whole life and you want to know? So tell us some things, and then we're going to try to get that information out to you. And then the best takeaway that's always been here is people come and talk to us and see us, and then they respond. They continue to come back, and they'll be able to go, hey, I remember when Jason spoke on this, and I don't remember exactly, but they'll call you, they'll email you, and they go, hey, you remember 9 months ago I was at this thing? And you're like, yeah, sure. But they'll at least contact us, which is what we want out of this event.
Yeah, and typically, I mean, over the 9 years, you've kind of hovered around about 30 people. Is that about the most you can kind of do in one of our conference rooms there?
Yeah, and it's really tough, isn't it? You know, how many people can you put in a room? You can put a lot more, but what's comfortable for people? We also do a WebEx with it.
Oh, great.
And we started doing that again with COVID and after COVID. And so we make that available. Not everybody wants to use that. Not very many people want to use that, but we make it available. If some people are just like, hey, I'm busy, can I just jump in? I don't think they get quite as much out of it as being in a classroom setting, but you know, we kind of get to around that 45, 50 people and say, hey, you know what, the room's uncomfortable, so you're going to be an alternate, jump on WebEx. And then about 30 to 35 people show up and are in that room, and it works pretty good because they can hear what everybody else is asking, they can talk amongst themselves if there's a break. And we have 90 minutes over 2 days, Monday and a Thursday, and they go through these issues.
Yeah, and that's, I think, like you talked about 9 years ago when we kind of started doing this, our department, and we would have been surprised if we would have got 30, 35 people. I remember we were just like, are we going to get like 4 people that are going to come to this?
Right. And everybody that's out there listening to this today, I mean, you think about it, you're like, so are you really interested in coming out and giving, 3 hours of your time to listen to city staff talk about, and you're like, yeah, why would I do that? It's engaging.
Yeah.
I mean, people really do appreciate it, and they really like it. And we were always just like, are we going to have anybody show up for this? And again, I mean, we've advertised it now for 3 days, and I've had 20 people already sign up.
Really?
Yeah, in 3 days.
That's
awesome. So we'll have good numbers again because people just want to know more information. And I think not only should the planning office do this, but I think all the departments should do this.
Yep.
And just do a different academy for their department and let people know, what the citizens want out of the department and what the challenges are to be in state government or city government.
And it's nice also to get the message out there that there's a little bit of method to the madness, that we're not just throwing stuff against the wall. There's actually reason why we do things the way we do them, and why we do the zoning ordinance and conference plan.
Just like with planning preview. I mean, why you do this and you try to get the information out. It's like we want to try to educate and inform the people.
Yeah. So you just talked about, you have 2 sessions, right? Yep. One is in what date in October?
It's Monday, October 6th, and Thursday, the 23rd.
Okay. And then you kind of do in this previously what we did. So the first one is kind of the 101 that you talked about, where you guys kind of explain the zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan and really the process and history of what planning is, correct?
Yes, and then that second one, we kind of go over a little bit more detail about housing, and some of the land use issues. But the first one, we just kind of kick off so that they don't walk in and go, I had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, and then as part of that, when you hear some of that, that's what I think is great, that you do kind of that 2-week separation from there. It's not like you do Monday and then Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Because if you hear a lot of questions on like, hey, where's the new bus stop going to go?
Correct.
Or when's this road going to be improved? Or where's the bike trail? You guys then can kind of tailor that second session. Hey, let's add maybe a little bit about the bike master plan or the transportation plan.
Yeah, and again, over 90 minutes, we only do like a 10-minute presentation and then 15 minutes of questions. 10-minute presentation, 15 minutes of questions, because that's where you get the best information, is when the people are like, hey, you mentioned this, but really what I was interested in really was, you talked about zoning, but recently there was something in my neighborhood, and there we go. There's the conversation.
Yeah, and that's what sometimes we get a lot of that as based on rezoning notifications, and then people kind of get, hey, what's going on? And then they start actually getting engaged. And I think it's great. The one thing that you guys always show there, or we did in the past, was that kind of planning pyramid thing that I talk about. And maybe just talk a little bit about that. I know it's a little bit hard on here, and maybe we can show a graphic of it too, but just how the engagement of the residents of Sioux Falls diminishes as properties start getting developed as we go
Sure,
up.
sure. And what Jason's referring to is, if you can picture a pyramid, and we have this pyramid that basically says where the people have the most impact is really where they deal with the fewest things.
Yeah.
The federal government, they're like, I really want to get involved in the federal government, and this is where I have all these issues with, and we're like, that's really in Washington, D.C., and you're not there. But the local stuff, where they could have the most impact, they're like, I don't want to deal with that. And we're like, but at the same time, we break it down to, okay, when you're dealing with local stuff that Jason and Karla have to bring to you, this is a rezoning. We put up signs. We have public hearings. Come to City Center and talk to us. There's all these opportunities. And they're like, well, we're like, this is the best impact for you at City Council to a budget hearing. And we try to explain all those things, that this is grassroots making impacts every day.
And I think one of the big things that kind of goes along with this and that pyramid is the comprehensive plan that we're working on now is the great way for residents of Sioux Falls to have actually the most input, which we're gathering at local events around the city here in the next month or two. But just a great message, and it was so fun to be a part of that when I was presenting and doing that stuff, just because, like you said, you were just really people want to come at night and listen to us talk. It's just a great thing. So where would I go if I was somebody, hey, this is really interesting to me, where can I get information and maybe sign up?
The best place is siouxfalls.gov, and just go to siouxfalls.gov, and it's the Planning Academy. And so otherwise, you can always stop into our office at City Center or just contact us and let us know. But in the end, all we want you to do is basically show up. We're trying to keep the numbers reasonable, but it's that Monday, October 6th or Thursday, October 23rd. And if you can't make them both, attend one of them. But those are the nights that we have it so that people can kind of come and find out more about planning in the city of Sioux Falls government.
Yeah, and that'll be at the City Center, the new building right across from the library,
Correct,
right?
Yep. At 5:30.
5:30 p.m. Well, like I said, it's been 9 fun years of watching this thing, and it just constantly grows or stays about the same. It's just a really good program, so I appreciate your work on that.
All right, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And thanks for joining us for the planning preview for the month of October. The meeting this month is on October 1st at the Carnegie Town Hall at 6 p.m. And as always, we do allow public input for any of the items we talked to tonight, and we do have that public input at the end of the agenda to talk anything planning related. So thanks, Sioux Falls, and have a great day.